This is pretty much the only way of getting an RTX 40 series graphics card in your system without having to pay scalper prices. Buying a system that already has one equipped. I mean, 4090s are going for over $2,000 right now, depending on the model. And if you want a premium card like a Strix, you're expected to pay over $4,000. What is wrong with people? History is repeating itself again because the exact same thing happened last year with the 30 series launch, where people were basically forced to buy an entire new system instead of paying nearly double the price for an RTX 3070 or higher, because this was the only way they were able to get value for their money. Lyte gaming PCs are coming to our rescue yet again with their new pre-built PCs, but are they worth it? I'm not gonna go easy on them. Just like last time, I called them out on their build kit pricing and part selection. So I really hope they learned a few things from that last video. Looks like it's packaged very well so far. Lots of padding, with some foam inserts inside to protect the graphics card and other components from getting damaged during shipping. So let's see which PC they actually sent over this time. All right, so it looks like they sent over their Colossus PC, which is their top tier system equipped with next gen parts. And right off the bat, it looks nothing like the damn picture on the website. We talked about this. I literally mentioned the exact same thing in the last video. The build kit that I got looked nothing like the image on the website. And when I emailed him, they just told me that they didn't have a chance to update it and they changed the image right after my email. But what's the excuse this time? It is November 15 at the time of making this video and the image is still the same. I mean, don't get me wrong guys, this is still a pretty decent looking system, but people need to know exactly what their PC is gonna look like before spending thousands of dollars, right? Isn't that fair? All right, let's turn this on, see if it boots. Still nothing, getting a little worried. Any day now. The first boot always takes forever. Okay, well, that's not good. We are not getting any signal. Looks like we do have an error code. CPU, that's a first. So there's something going on with the PC. I'm not sure exactly what. I'm gonna do some troubleshooting. We're not getting any signal to the monitor. And according to the motherboard debug light, looks like there's something going on with the CPU because it's not even going past that. So I'll try clearing the CMOS, reseating the CPU, and see what I can do to get the PC up and running, and I'll see you guys very soon. Let's do a quick reboot. So the light is orange. Okay, now it went to red. That's so weird. Oh, now it's cycling through the rest of the lights. That is so bizarre. Well, look at that. All I had to do was a power cycle and the PC is working now, so what a relief. All right, let's talk about pricing before I dig deeper inside the system. Pricing is a very important factor for consumers when determining which PC they should buy. And I feel like Lyte Gaming does a pretty good job in being transparent with their pricing. You get to see all the components that go into your build along with the price they are charging. So you already know if you're getting ripped off or not. Now, for some reason, I got a slightly different PC than what was advertised on the website. And frankly, I'm a bit annoyed with that because it feels like this system was cherry-picked in my favor, and I'll talk more about that later in the video. But first, let's take a look at a parts breakdown of what you're supposed to get with this PC. So when you look at the total cost, the answer is simple. Yes, you're getting a better deal as opposed to buying the parts separately and building it yourself. $36.97 is what you'll be paying on Lyte, as opposed to paying $42.18 and 64 cents building it yourself. You'll be saving $521.64. Not to mention, shipping costs are not included, so the total price could be potentially higher depending on where you get your parts from to build your PC. So for example, if you buy from Amazon and you don't have Prime, you could be paying extra for shipping. With Lyte PCs, shipping is free, and you get their warranty with customer support. All very good things to consider when deciding. I was also told that their entire customer service team has been reworked and that they hired more skilled agents to help out with customers a lot quicker. Also, to the end of December, you can spin the wheel and get a free upgrade. It can either be extra storage, an upgraded cooler, or just more fans. Most of the savings actually comes from the graphics card. On Amazon, the Asus TUF RTX 4090 is selling for $2,500, and on eBay, the cheapest I found was $2,400 plus shipping. So that's the price I used for the comparison. One thing I would recommend to Lyte Gaming if you're watching is to please list the model of the part. As a customer, I'm sure it'll be nice to know what exactly we are buying. For example, on the GPU, it just says RTX 4090, but what model is it? That plays a huge role on deciding to buy the PC or not. Actually, if you scroll down on the product page, it will tell you the brand of the GPU, but the model is still missing. It says Gigabyte, but what model Gigabyte is it? I would also like to know the model of the memory and the hard drive listed as well. These are all very important details in determining if the PC is worth it. Okay, so the PC is hooked up to the monitor. Let's dive deep a little bit and see what kind of programs they installed inside the PC. Right off the bat, for some reason, it looks like I can't even connect to the internet. The Wi-Fi drivers haven't even been installed. How am I supposed to use the PC without Wi-Fi? I even have the Wi-Fi extender hooked up in the back here, but this is useless if the Wi-Fi drivers are not installed. Windows isn't even activated. I can't even troubleshoot because I can't connect to the Wi-Fi. Oh my God, something tells me that they didn't even set the power plan or activate XMP in the BIOS. Watch. I freaking knew it. It's unbalanced. I can't express how important it is to set the power plan to high performance to make sure that your system is not throttling you guys. This is... How do they forget to do this? What about XMP? Let's check out XMP real quick. Let's go to Task Manager, Memory. Oh, thank heavens. At least they have that enabled. So we are running on 6,000 megahertz. So at least they didn't forget to enable XMP. That's good. Okay, so this is an Asus board. So technically they're supposed to install ROG Armory, and that is how you can install all the drivers for the motherboard. So I do see that installed on here. Let's open that up real quick. Oh, I can't connect to the Wi-Fi, so I can't even check. Hold on, let me get my temporary Wi-Fi adapter. Okay, at least the GPU drivers are up to date. So that's good. Oh, I see the issue. Looks like they only installed a LAN driver for some reason. They didn't install the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, or even the AMD chipset driver, which can impact your gaming performance. Cherry-picked my butthole. Earlier in the video, I said that this PC might have been cherry-picked for me. That couldn't be further from the truth. That's the funny thing about all this, you guys. Like, Lyte Gaming knew they're setting this PC in for a review on the channel, yet they sent it in like this. Where is your quality check, my guy? All right, let me download these drivers real quick and I'll be right back. All right, so everything is downloaded and ready to go. Let's dive into the meat and potatoes of the PC. Specs-wise, this is one of the best gaming PCs you can buy right now. We got top-of-the-line specs, a Ryzen 9 7900X. It's a 12-core, 24-thread processor, 32 gigs of RAM running at 6,000 megahertz, and the Asus TUF RTX 4090. It doesn't get any better than this. You can fly to the moon and back with this system and still make it home before supper. I was playing Modern Warfare 2 in 4K Ultra settings, and the PC was eating it and spitting it back out like it was nothing, just like my ex. Temps stayed very cool as well during gaming. The 7900X peaked at 78 degrees Celsius, which is really great when considering the CPU can hit upwards of 95 degrees normally. The 4090 TUF, on the other hand, stayed at a constant 71 degrees on its hottest sensor. Which leads me to the cooling of the system. We got a pretty good fan configuration going on with 3 intake on the bottom, 3 more intake on the side, and then 3 exhaust for the top. So we have a bit of a positive air pressure going on in this case, which is to be expected. What I don't understand is why they sent me an NZXT cooler instead of the deep cool that's listed on the website. I also got an EVGA power supply instead of a deep cool, so there just isn't any consistency. I prefer transparency at all times, regardless if this is a review unit or not. I can tell you right now, if they made those upgrades to get on my good side or to soften the blow, it's not working. The only upgrade I allowed was the motherboard. I asked for a Strix board instead of the Prime because I have other plans with the board after this video. They are currently out of stock on the Strix 670 board, so they are being shipped with Primes instead. But once they get more in stock, they will update the list and adjust the pricing. This leads me to the cable management. and I mean this in the most delicate way possible. You had one simple job. The cables coming out of the AIO could have been routed a much nicer way. You never want to run cables across the VRM. It just doesn't look good. Personally, I would have routed the cables between the top VRM heatsink and the DIMM slots. The GPU cables, I kind of understand. I mean, they're really hard to work with, they're very bulky, they're difficult to bend, plus the GPU is mounted vertically, so then you have the cables going up, and it's really hard to kind of bring them back down. But there is an alternative. One option is to bend the actual cables downwards and route the other end through the middle grommet. As we've discovered recently, the cables don't melt due to bending, but more so because they are not fully connected. This already looks 100 times better. The 24-pin cable, on the other hand, should have been routed from the bottom grommet and not the top. That way the entire sleeve can be hidden behind the graphics card. All right, let's check out the back. Oh, wow. That's actually not bad. I'm more impressed with the cable management in the back than I am with the cable management in the front. We got a bunch of cable slack over here tied nicely together on the top of the power supply, and the rest of the cables over here are kind of hidden behind this bracket in the center. So they did a really good job in the back. I have no complaints. I also noticed that one of the pins from the case fan header is bent. It's not a huge deal since you can easily bend those back in, and I probably caused that without knowing when I was removing the foam from the beginning. So, you know, not a huge deal. And finally, I do want to talk about the fans. I have no clue why they replaced the stock NZXT fans from the cooler with their generic RGB ones. These are much nicer, they would have matched the color scheme of the build much better, and they probably would have offered better cooling as well. I'm so confused. And what's worse is that they didn't even include the remote for the RGB fans. It's nowhere to be found. This means I can't even change the colors. They are stuck with the purple color, which sucks. I thought maybe they connected them to the RGB header on the motherboard so I can control them using the Armory software. But nope, they are not even connected there. Oh, and that's another thing. The case lights don't even work. These two buttons in the front are supposed to let you change the color of the RGB strip that goes in the front of the case, and neither of the buttons do anything. I don't know who built this PC, but that person definitely needs some training, or at the very least, the person who does the quality checks of these systems needs to be retrained. But at the end of the day, you're still protected no matter what you decide. So if you do get a PC and you're just not happy with it, you can send it back to them for free within the first 30 days for a full refund. But if you decide to replace it, what they'll do is they'll send you a brand new system, and you can keep using this one until a brand new one arrives, and then you can send this back using the same box. And if you're not into pre-built PCs, that's fine. You can also check out their build kits, which are also 5% off. You pick the parts you want and you build it yourself with their assistance. Despite everything, you're still getting a good deal on a PC that's equipped with a 40 series card, as opposed to buying the parts yourself and building one. I think that's the main takeaway from today's video. I like making these types of videos because it gives a lot of great feedback to the pre-built companies out there. And I really hope that Lyte PC can take the criticism that I've mentioned in today's video and apply it to their company, as well as all future orders, especially since they are all easy fixes. From my experience with them in the past, they are very good listeners. So I'm pretty sure they'll address everything I mentioned in this video before this video even goes live. And I'll give you guys an update, of course, in the comment section down below, or I'll probably list it somewhere on the screen. As always, that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll drop a link to Lyte PCs below if you guys want to check them out. If you enjoy these types of videos, let me know by tossing a like, and let me know in the comment section which pre-built PC I should check out next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Ow, cracked my knuckles.